light is better. Hi, good evening, all of you. Good afternoon as well. I hope all of you are doing good. Welcome back to the class. Let's begin. The students are still joining. So I'll share my screen with the test, and today is Thursday, right? It's the last class of this week. So before we begin the same announcements, make sure that all of you are timing yourself. You are taking care that you're noticing all the rules that we discuss every day, the singular, plural, the tenses, the modals, the verbs, adjectives, adverbs, when you are finding out your answer. And try to note down as much as you can when we have the discussion on what things can help you to find your correct answers. So we'll start with the reading blanks. Or let's start with reading writing blanks today. We have been doing reading, I think, from past 2 weeks, past 2 days. So here we have the first question for reading writing blanks on the screen, and I'm giving you 2.5 minutes to solve this. And I request all of you to post your answers so that I come to know about the wrong answers, and then we get something to talk about, to discuss about. So 2.5 minutes, and then share your responses once you are done in the chat box. Each question will be discussed 2 times. And then you can note down the correct answers as well as the hints and the rules. So here you go, 2.5 minutes to solve this. I was about to say very good to all of you, but then I saw some of you have done the mistake I was expecting you not to do. Okay, some students joined late, so that's why I give some extra time so that they could complete the question. So this says Saint Nicholas Day, feast day of Saint Nicholas, the 4th century bishop of Myra. Saint Nicholas is the patron saint of Russia and Greece, a number of cities and of sailors and children among many other groups, and was noted for his dash. So we are basically talking about a person. What we understand from here, he was a saint of these places, and he was noted for his. The rule is after possessive pronoun always comes a noun. Possessive pronoun means his, her, its, their will always come. He was known for his what? So what was the thing that he was known for? Prominence means importance. We can use the word prominent for important, or we can use the word prominence for popularity in some sense. He rose to fame, he rose to prominence, that is popularity. So he was not known for his fame or popularity. So he was noted for his generous is not a noun, generosity is a noun, goodness is not a word. So the only one noun, first of all, we had two nouns, prominence and generosity, and prominence is not a quality. It's just the fact of being important or the fact of being popular. So a person cannot be noted for his popularity, especially when you read the context, it is not about that he was an actor or something that he was very popular. So he was known for his generosity, because what is the work they are doing on his day is giving sweets to children. So kind of celebrating his kindness is what they are doing. Saint Nicholas Day is celebrated on Monday, December the 6th, in the parts of Northern Europe, particularly the Low Countries and some German-speaking areas. Saint Nicholas Day dash a time when children are given special cookies, candies, and gifts. So here we have different tenses in the options. This day will remain a time. Will remain means it's not now. It has nothing to do with past and present. We are talking about that this thing is going to happen, which is wrong, because the context says that we already celebrated it on 2021 December 6th. So we cannot only say about future. Has remained. Has, we have discussed the has a lot of times now, and I'm very happy that most of you have selected B as your answer. Has remained means it was and it still is. So has shows present tense starting from the past. Is remaining, so we cannot say day is remaining a time. It doesn't even convey anything, and none of you have selected very good. Has been remained. Has been is always used in passive voice. This sentence is active. How do we get to know that? So the verb is remain in all the options. So you have to ask yourself what is remaining or what has remained. Where is the answer of that what written? The answer of the what is the day, and that day is written before the blank. So whenever the noun is written before the blank, it is an active sentence. It is not a passive sentence. And has been remained is been is used in passive statements. And moreover, it is, I believe, wrong English. Has been received, has, okay, it's right, but we cannot make a sense out of this day has been remained a time. So it's wrong to make sense here, but otherwise we can distinguish, because you have covered the concept of active and passive in the video. So if you have covered the concept, you can select it as your basis. So this day has remained means in the past also it was, in the present also it is. A time when children are given special cookies, candies, and gifts. In many places, children have letters for Saint Nicholas and carrots of grass for his donkey or horse. In the morning, they find small presents under their pillows or in the shoes, stockings, or plates they have dashed for him. So the grammar says with have comes third form of verb. Simple grammar is first thing you should always check. Laying is not third form, place is not third form, present is not third form, set out is third form. So there's no choice. There should not be a second thing that you should be thinking, because the past form of set is also set. Set in present, set same in past. But the past form of present is presented. Past form of laying is laid. Past form of place is placed. So other three are not possible because they are not past forms. Oranges and chocolate coins are treats that represent Saint Nicholas's legendary rescue of three impoverished girls by paying their marriage dowries with gold. So these are treats. It is a complete sentence. What kind of treats are they? Common, ordinary, few, or habitual? Treats cannot be habitual. We are not counting how many, there were many or there were few treats. We want to say these are the common things associated with this person. We cannot say ordinary because ordinary word is used when you want to say something is not special. It's like a daily use thing. Then you say it's very ordinary. So it's used in a bit negative context when you want to say there's nothing special in this. And the last ones say candy canes dash have the shape of a bishop's crozier are also given. So candy canes, whose is used for human beings, whom is used for human beings, who is used for human beings, and which is used for things. And candy obviously is a thing. So it will be candy canes, can be kind of treat or sweet or chocolate, whatever, which have the shape of a bishop's crozier are also given. These are the answers. I'll repeat once again. A person who is known for his kindness is called generosity. After possessive pronoun always comes a noun. Possessive pronouns are his, her, its, their. All these are possessive pronouns. Second, when you have different tenses, you just have to understand what is the sentence trying to say. Has is used when the sentence is trying to say starting from past till present. That is the use of has in singular tense. So we'll say St. Nicholas Day has remained a time because it was and it is still is. With have comes third form, and in the third blank, out of the four options, there was only one past form given, so we did not have a choice. The fourth ones, these are common treats because ordinary is a bit negative. We don't want to say these are not very special treats, but we want to say these are the common things associated. And the last ones, whose, whom, and who are generally used for human beings, and which is used for things. So candy cane is obviously not a human, so we'll say which for candy cane. Right? These are the answers. Any questions or confusions, anyone? Please explain noun before blank. Which blank, Prabjot? Third one, I didn't say noun. I said when you have written, you have to select third form of verb. And in the options, the third form of verb is only set out because set is in the second blank. So what has remained? Saint Nicholas Day is the noun. So we are saying this day has remained. So whenever the noun is given before the blank, it's active statement. Right? Anybody else? Any question or confusion? All good? Okay. See, the has have should be clear now. It's been a while that we have been discussing has have, the use of has have. So try that you are now understanding it. Question number 2, 2.5 minutes, and then post your answers, please. It should be done. Anybody left to post? A lot of you have done well with the last one. Okay, so this says the Sahara, which takes its name from the Arabic word for desert, is the largest hot desert in the world, with a total approximate area of 3.32 million square miles. It dash almost all of northern Africa. So it is singular. We need a verb with S. So the first things to exclude are comprehensive and exclude because they are without S. Now we have two options, encompasses and encloses. Looking at the answers, I could understand that not many of you know the difference between enclose and encompass. So please note it down. Enclose is when you want to say something has covered something from the boundary. That is enclose, to make a boundary to something. Or otherwise, the meaning of enclose is to include. In rare of cases, we can say include, but separately. One meaning of enclose is include. One meaning of enclose is to make a boundary to something, to cover something from the boundary. But the meaning of encompass is both boundary plus include. So include plus hold within, or boundary plus hold within is the meaning of encompass. So based on these two, based on this difference, the answer should be encompasses, because we want to say that the Sahara Desert encompasses almost all of Northern Africa, means it includes plus it is the boundary of Northern Africa. So that is why encompasses will take over enclose, because enclose can only mean boundary as well. But we don't want to say desert is at the boundary of Africa and not inside Africa. So that will go wrong meaning. That is why it is encompasses. Then they complete the sentence. It encompasses, includes and boundaries almost all of Northern Africa. It's a complete statement, but instead of putting a full stop, they have used a comma and then straight away given a blank. This is the same rule that we keep on doing again every day, that when the sentence completes, but in place of a full stop, they put a comma, and right after the comma, they further explain without saying that it or without saying any other subject. So then we use ing form of verb. So it says it encompasses almost all of Northern Africa, dash from the Atlantic Ocean on the west side to the Red Sea on the eastern side. So they are still explaining how much area or what area it covers. This explanation is going on. So we'll go with lasting, spanning. We have two ing forms. So we cannot say desert is lasting from Atlantic Ocean. That doesn't make any meaning. But desert is spanning from Atlantic Ocean. Spanning means stretching, starting from this and then stretching to the other side. So that is the meaning of stretch, is to extend. So it is used with the when we give any any place on land. When you want to say this land, this place starts from this land and it goes till the other side, other place, then we use the word spanning or span in that case. So rule, first of all, you should know that you want ing form of verb, and then the meaning of the word also is important. So spanning means extended from Atlantic Ocean to the Red Sea on the eastern side. About 1/4 of the Sahara's surface consists of sand sheets and dunes. Other features include sand seas, gravel-covered plains. Other features is complete, but still we have a blank. Features is a noun. So what kind of features we have? Totaling are not any kind of features. Principal means main. Major means major and minor. Major means the main, big ones and the small ones. Mainly is not an adjective. Mainly with ly is an adverb. So what can come here? Main features, not major features. If we'll not have principal given, then you can go with major. But out of principal and major, what is more academic to say that main features? Principal will have an upper hand over saying major, because major also has a meaning with major and minor, means small and big. So we cannot go into that. So other main features, other principal features include sand seas, gravel covered plains, dash plateaus, abrupt mountains, shallow basins. So basically we need a word to describe what kind of plateaus there are. Beautiful, You see, yeah, the other words, they are not praising how beautiful or how non-beautiful they are. Rough can be, rocky can be, serene is again a quality of something being very beautiful only. The way they have used abrupt mountains, shallow basins, they are not saying how beautiful or not beautiful they are. So it's better to go with rough or rocky. But when we talk about plateaus, we don't use the word rough. Rough is used with surfaces. Plateaus are not rough. Plateaus can be rocky. So it's better to go with rocky here. And the last one says, in general, vegetation in the Sahara dash areas around oases, and then wadis and the highlands. Only three things. So in general, vegetation in the Sahara is limited to three things. Makes sense. If we want to say has restricted, so when you put has, that means again your noun, the doer should be given before the blank. So if you say vegetation has restricted, does it make sense? Can vegetation do anything? So the child has written means the child writes. Vegetation has restricted. Can vegetation restrict anything? Means it is not an active statement. It's a passive statement. You cannot use has, have here. The same thing, has been started. Can you say vegetation has been started? Can anybody start a vegetation in the Sahara Desert? So it's passive, but it doesn't make sense because we cannot start vegetation. We have not started vegetation. And vegetation had consisted of. Had means it used to. It is not now, which is wrong because the Sahara still has these things. The way they have started in general. So in general means it's generally now also present. So we cannot go with had. So what we'll go with is the vegetation is limited to these three areas. We don't have vegetation anywhere else. It's just around oases, wadis, and the highlands. That's it. So like the fifth blank, like I have tried you to explain, understand this method of how to check. So you can say vegetation is limited to three areas, make some interpretation out of. Vegetation has restricted. Vegetation cannot restrict anything. This is how you have to check if you're not very clear with the active passive concepts, right? So these are the answers. The first one, as I explained the difference between encompasses and encloses. Encloses can only mean boundary, which doesn't make sense. And encompass means boundary plus hold within. So encompasses is better. Second, the word spanning. One was grammatical rule that after comma, if you need a verb, if the next part is still explaining the same thing, you need ing form of verb, and the meaning of spanning is extending. When you explain land, you say extending from this place to that place. Then principal features, because you want to say main features. If principal is not there by any chance, they might give another word, that's a different thing. But we can go with major features. Plateaus cannot be rough. Plateaus should be rocky. Rough is rough surfaces. And the last one, the vegetation is limited to these areas. Vegetation has not done anything. Vegetation had means it is not there now, which is wrong, and has been started with areas. So we have not started the vegetation with the areas. So that cannot be the answer. Right? Any confusions, anyone in this question? Is it clear now, Prabjot, why we cannot select has? Sahara is a noun, but our noun is vegetation. So that's, did you note the sentence that I said? Vegetation has restricted. This is how you have to match. So vegetation has restricted. Does it make any sense? So when you want to say, the children in the class have done the work. So who has done the work? Children is also noun, class is also noun. So you say children in the class have done the work. So will you match with class have done, or will you match children have done? So it's not that the noun written before has, have is always the doer. The doer can be the second noun which was written before. So you have to figure out that what is the noun or which is the noun out of all the nouns given, and then only you can match. Okay. So Abdul, principal means main features. If principal is not given, then you can go with major. Out of principal and major, principal is more academic. So that's why we should go with principal over major. Right? Question number 3 on your screens, and you have 2.5 minutes and then post your responses. All right, should be done. Still, there are mistakes on present and past tense that you need to understand. The language is a bit technical. Try to listen to it very, very carefully. Scientific revolution was a dash change in scientific thought that took place during the 16th and 17th centuries. So scientific revolution was a change. What kind of change it was? So we need a word that can describe the word change. That is the only thing we have to match. We really don't have to make the sense out of the whole sentence. Matching word is what you have to do. Whenever you have to find adjective, you just have to focus on your noun. What kind of change? So with a, vowels cannot come. So extreme is not possible. Severe change is negative. Drastic means very big. Tough is not a word that can describe change because changes are not tough and easy. A very common collocation with the word change is drastic change. Drastic means a huge change, not a small one, a very, very big one. A thing that changed almost 80% of 90% of the things that is called drastic. Muhammad Isa, putting E after A is one of the basic mistakes. That means you are not noting down the discussion part. So please do that. So after A, we cannot put A, E, I, O, U, all the vowels. That should be written down. A new view of nature emerged, dash the scientific revolution. So new view emerged because of, as per, resulting in, or during. So because of scientific revolution came a new view. It makes sense. As per is used for reference. Please note it down. There are blanks in which you have to put as per as the answer. As per is used to refer to something. Like you say, as per the law, the fine is $500. So you are referring to the law. As per the book, as per the author, as per the constitution. These are the cases in which you use as per the terms and conditions. So when you refer to a document, refer to a person, then you use as per. We cannot say a new view of nature emerged resulting in the scientific revolution, because scientific revolution did not happen because of view of nature. That is completely wrong meaning. But during is the right answer, because during comes with a period of time. And scientific revolution was not a one-day thing. It happened for years. So a new view came up during the scientific revolution, means during that time when scientific revolution was going on. Replacing, now see, this is the writing style that I was explaining you in the last question. When they finish a sentence, a new view of nature emerged during the scientific revolution. It is complete. They still are putting a comma and then using ing form of verb because they are further explaining the same point. So they are not writing it replaced. Instead, they are missing the it with the comma and straight away starting with the verb. Replacing the Greek view that dash signs for almost 2000 years. Now, replacing the Greek view means the Greek view finished. If you have replaced something, that thing do not exist now. So if you say, I have replaced the tea with coffee in the menu. So do you have tea in the menu? No, you have replaced it. That means you cannot write present tense here. Greek view has finished. You have replaced it. And many of you wrote dominates. It doesn't even exist now. Replacing the Greek view that dominated signs, because that view is finished now, and that is why you needed past tense here. You cannot even say has, because has means present tense. Dominates means present tense. Anything which has finished will always come with had or simple past tense, whatever the option is given. So replacing the Greek view that had dominated, it used to dominate, because we have replaced that now. For almost 2000 years, it was there. Science became an autonomous discipline distinct from both philosophy and technology, and it came to be regarded as having utilitarian goals by the end of this period. Now, this was a reference that they were referring to scientific revolution as a time period. It may not be too much to say that science had replaced Christianity as the focal point of European civilization. Out of the ferment of the Renaissance and Reformation, there arose a new view of science. Chalo, whatever, out of whatever, there came a new view of science, dash the following transformations, and then they have a comma. Means now they are naming the transformation, that this was a transformation, that was a, they are using it with 1 and then number 2, number 3, number 4. These are the transformations. So we have to come back to there came a new view of science, dash the following transformation. So that view brought with the following transformations, causing the following transformations, leading to or bringing about. Now, first of all, we don't need past tense like brought with here because it doesn't make sense. There arose a new view of science, brought with the transformations. Brought with cannot come transformation. The transformations came because of the view, not with the view. So brought with doesn't make sense. Causing is used for negative things. Transformation just means changes. You don't cause change, you make change, because cause shows something negative. Leading to or bringing about, both are ing forms of verbs. Difference between leading to and bringing about is, leading to is when there is a process going on. So when there are 1, 2, 3, 4 steps and you follow the steps, these steps lead to the goal, means finally you will reach there. And bringing about when there is no process. Is there a process in this sentence? They say there came a new view of science. So there's a new view already there. We have got the new view. So that is why the answer will be bringing about these changes. So the new view brought new changes. We cannot say lead to. Just like now we have got the new prime minister in Australia. So we cannot say the new prime minister lead to new changes. No, the new prime minister will bring new changes because there's no process. The prime minister is already what we have out of the process. So bringing about the following transformations, and then the name of the transformations is the re-education of common sense in favor of abstract reasoning, the dash of a quantitative for a qualitative view of nature. So before, after the and before of, we always need a noun. We have replacement noun, substitution is a noun, switching and alternate are not nouns. Out of replacement and substitution, what is, they both mean the almost the same, they're very, very identical in use. But what is more academic is substitution is more academic. It is more used in formal writing, whereas replacement is our general verbal language. Replace the tire. We don't say substitute the tire, right? Whereas both of them mean to put something else in place of the other thing. But replace is general and substitution is more academic. Substitution of quantity for quality, the view of nature as a machine rather than as an organism, the development of an experimental scientific method that dash definite answers to certain limited questions. So the method that dash answers, method that wanted answers, method that created answers, method that sought answers, or method that looked answers. So method that looked for answers makes sense. Method cannot look answers. Method can look for answers. Created, answers are not created by methods. Creation can be done only by human beings. Wanted and sought, both are synonyms. Sought is a better academic form of wanted only. So that is why we'll go with sought. Sought also means look for something. That is also to sought something. Or wanting something also means sought something. Right? So I believe in every question there are around 4, 5, 6 things that we should be writing down. And it's very sad to see that you don't write those things. Mohammed, how many days have you been attending the class? And today you are asking me before A can be put vowels. The rule is if there is a blank after a, You cannot use vowels in that blank. There's no after, before, otherwise. Just one rule. After an, you can put vowels. After a, you cannot put vowels. So when I say something is more, a word is more academic than the other word, means it is more formal. It is more used in classic writing. It is more used in academic writing. It is more used in formal writing. And less academic words are the ones which are used in spoken English or verbal English and not in formal writing pieces. That is a less academic and more academic words. Vowel before vowel means what? Okay, so these are the answers. The first one, it was scientific revolution was a drastic change, just because drastic is a very common adjective to describe change. Whenever there's a big change, we say it's drastic change. New view of nature emerged during scientific revolution, because we were just referring to the time. Replacing the Greek view that had existed, because we have replaced it, we have changed it. It does not exist now. So anything which has finished will always come with had. Third is not, fourth is not leading to, because there's no process. The new view of science bring new transformations, or brought new transformations, which is bringing about, because after comma we need ing form of verb. After the and before of, we always need a noun. There were two nouns, replacement and substitution. Substitution is more academic than replacement, and that should be your answer. The last one, method that dash answers. So with the noun answers, we always use the verb sought answers. Sought means to find, to look for, to want answers. All these things go with sought answers. So both, they won't give you dominated and had dominated, because both make sense in this. That's why they haven't given, otherwise they would have given. If they will ever give you past and past perfect, there will be a hint to select past or past perfect. Without hint, you cannot do that. Okay. I hope it's clear now. So here you have your question number 4 on your screens, 2.5 minutes to solve this, and then post your answers, please. Very good. Some semblance of what baseball dash become can be traced to 1800s, and looking at would as the answer is making me so much happy. Would become because this would be based on the context that they were explaining how baseball would become what it has become today. So in the past, we will be saying would become only. We cannot say must, because must is baseball has to become this. It is compulsory. Shall become is it is yet to become in the future, and might is completely 50-50. We have no idea what is going to become. But when you know they have explained, so we will definitely go with would. What baseball would become can be traced to 1800s. New York, as groups of men started crafting their own set of rules. The Knickerbocker Baseball Club of New York gets the dash for the first true effort. So anybody who has made the effort, made the start, we say that the credit goes to this person. Similarly, they are saying that this club gets the credit for the first true effort, the main effort that they have made. With a group of men on the rules committee outlining a 20 rule parameter dubbed the Knickerbocker rules, which set foul lines, the bases between bases, the limit of 3 outs, and eliminated the dodgeball style rule that to get a runner out, you dash hit him with a thrown ball. So basically, they are crediting this club because they set all the rules for baseball, and in the end they eliminated this rule that to get a runner out you dash hit him with a thrown ball. This is somewhere I could see the mistakes, but the answer was could, not should, because this is not a suggestion. This is a possibility that they ruled out one possibility of making the person out, because to make the person out there will be other things also. So they just ruled out one possibility of out, that you could hit him with a thrown ball. This is not now possible. They eliminated this rule. So that is why we have to go with possibility, not suggestion. And then they say in June 1846, these rules were used in a game, dash the Knickerbockers and Cricket's New York line. So between two people, always between comes with two games, two teams, two sports, any two things always come with between 1 and 2, which is credited as the first dash game of baseball. First proper, original and duplicate, authentic or not authentic, first official game. Official means something which we can count as, yes, this is what baseball is. This is how baseball will be played. So this is the first official game. Otherwise, it was just setting the rules and doing the things. But first proper game will be official game. Gagandeep, do we have duplicate games as well? How can you put original? See, one of the strategies to select your answer is always think of the opposite of the word you want to select. If the opposite is completely illogical, the word you are thinking is not your answer. Take it as a hint. I do this, so you can also maybe try doing this. So if I want to put original, I'll think of duplicate game. Does it make sense? No. That means original is not my answer. If the opposite doesn't fit at all, your word is also wrong. And you should be writing this down so that you remember to do this in the exam. It's a very well attempted question. The first one is would, because they are telling us how it happened, that how baseball actually became baseball. So at that time, it would become, gets the credit because this club set all the rules that they have explained. And then they ruled out just one possibility of making a person out. So that is a possibility. That's why I went with could hit him. And the fourth one, game between two teams. Obviously, the game is always between two teams. And this is the first official game of baseball. Any confusions, anyone? Ought to means have to. Ought to means must. When there's no choice, you have to do something. That is ought to. So first one is when in the past something was going on and it was yet to become something, we'll go with would. For example, you can say, I would write the letter. means what? In the past, you will. So you were yet to write the letter. So you'll say would. So in the past, when the officially baseball was not decided that these are the rules and this is the game, when they were still working on it, that time they will say what baseball would become. In the past, what it is going to become will be would become. Okay. No, might cannot be the answer in the third one, because might means 50-50. If you will say might hit him, that will mean you might hit him, you might not hit him, still he's out. But that's wrong. So might generally creates a question on the verb itself, that you may hit or you may not hit, not on the action, on the verb itself. So then you use might. All right, the last question for reading writing blanks, number 5, 2.5 minutes. Right, just like Prabhat, you have written can, 70% chances we can, you did not write we might or we may. That is the same thing they are saying, that they ruled out one of the possibilities, and possibilities come with can or could rather than may or might. May and might would be like 50-50 chance. Okay, 2.5 minutes and the last question. Done should be done. What is the meaning of coincide, Umair? Coincide is when two things they mingle into each other, mix with each other. To like if your one friend's wedding is on 20th and the other friend also selects the same, then say they have coincided, happen to match, happen to happen at the same time, same date, then you use the word coincide. Or in terms of intersecting lines like in geometry, that is coinciding. Trying to explain you in synonyms. The Olympic rings, which are 5 interconnected rings in 5 colors from left to right, blue, yellow, black, green, and red, is perhaps the most dash symbol of the games. So what kind of symbol? Endorsed is not a kind of symbol. Popular symbol, ideal symbol, iconic. Ideal is whether it is perfect or not. So that is ideal. Like we say, ideal match, perfect match. It is popular or iconic. Iconic is more academic, so you should go with iconic over popular, though it almost means the same. Popular only has to do with a lot of people know about it, but iconic has an additional meaning of that it means a lot to people. That is iconic. So it has vast popularity along with the meaning attached to it. So that is iconic. The logo was designed in 1912 by this person, the co-founder of modern games. The 5 colors dash to the flags of the countries that participated in 1912 Olympic Games in Stockholm. So 5 colors is plural. We need a verb without S, following the noun verb rule. So the 5 colors coincide to, correspond to, resembles is with S cannot be the answer. The 5 colors differ to the flag doesn't make sense. So coincide and to don't come together, or may come together, but correspond and to always come together. So it will be correspond to. Correspond to means they actually relate to. They are actually from that, those flags. That is the meaning of correspond to. Despite this specificity and dash many more countries having joined in the games since the symbol's creation, the rings now serve as a universal icon of the Olympics. They say despite this specificity and dash many more countries, and despite many more countries, regardless, although, against. There's nothing negative, first of all, so against cannot be the answer. Regardless means not paying attention to. So when you say something regardless of, means you don't want to consider that thing. That is regardless. For example, you say that regardless of the time, I will come to the party. I mean, it doesn't matter what is the time. So that is when we use the word regardless. Now, out of despite and although, if your helping verb is in ing form, then you will use despite and not although. So if they will say many more countries have joined, we will go with although. But if it is having joined, you will go with despite. So please write it down as one of the rules to distinguish between despite and although. So if your you have ing form of verb or helping verb, then you will go with despite and not although. And despite many more countries having joined in the games, the ring still is a universal icon of Olympics. Coubertin intended the rings' connection to each other to dash a unified world. So why did that person connected the rings? I am expecting all of you to know the rings of Olympics. So why are those rings connected to each other? To dash a unified world. In very simple language, it will be to show a unified world. With to comes first form of verb. They have a connection because, to represent a unified world, to embody, to combine, or to express. So it's not to combine the world. It is not to express the world. Express is more with expressing your ideas and beliefs. That is when you use the word express. Out of represent and embody, there was a confusion. The difference between represent is when, for example, we say this flag represents Australia. So a physical thing represents something as a nation, as a country, as a community. That is called representing. Embody is particularly used when a physical thing is used to convey a feeling or a belief something intangible. So that is why embody will come here, because the connection to each other is shown to embody a unified word, and unification is a feeling that they want to show through a symbol. So embody is a word particularly for that, when you want to show feelings or beliefs with some tangible thing. So with something which can be seen, that is, those are the rings. So that is a difference. Otherwise, represent also makes sense. Olympism dash the fitness of mind and body. So Olympism is singular. We need a verb with S. So we have only one, so there's no choice. Olympism encourages the fitness of mind and body, promotes teamwork. Even promotes was a hint that you have to go with the verb with S. And those who have selected anything apart from encourages, please write down this one rule. Singular noun comes with the verb with S. Plural nouns come with verbs without S. Right? So these are the answers. The first one, it is the most iconic, means very popular, very widely known, or something which is greatly valued. That is called iconic. And then the second one is correspond comes with two. Coincide doesn't come with two. Resembles, we don't need a verb with S, and differ doesn't make sense. So that is resembles. Sorry, that is correspond to something. Third one, despite always comes, like I said, the difference between despite and although. If your verb or helping verb is in ing form, you will always select despite and you will not select although in that case. If they will write many more countries have joined, then we will go with although. But because they have used ing form, then you use despite. The fourth one, embody means to represent a feeling with a tangible thing. When you want to show a feeling, a belief, or something intangible, feeling obviously abstract thing with a tangible thing, then you use the word embody. And the last one, we needed a verb with S because Olympism is singular, so that is why encourages is the only option we have. Coincide is coincidentally match at the same time or same place. That is coincide. Mix with each other unintentionally. That is coincide. Right? Is it clear now? Okay. Let's move on to reorders. And here I show you your first question on the screen. 2 minutes to solve this and then post your answers in the chat box, please. Very good, Prabjot. Very well done. 100% correct answer. The first sentence was D. In Japan, the evolution of teaching profession has been somewhat similar to that in Germany. So this is the sentence in which we got to know that teaching profession is the topic, evolution of teaching profession, that how it started. And the second thing they said that it was similar to Germany. In Japan and Germany, the starting of teaching profession, how it started and how it evolved is similar. And then we need to find out if any sentence explains that what was similar and how it started. So many of you have written C as the second sentence because it talks about both countries, which is fine. B is also second, a sentence which talks about both countries. So how should we select that, whether B should come first or C should come first? Because of this word evolution and because of this word traditionally. So having a sentence with the word traditionally and having one sentence without traditionally, which should come first? If we have a hint, we should go with the word traditionally first, that because traditionally at least shows us something from the beginning. So it will be both countries traditionally means in the beginning have had more men than women teaching in elementary schools. And as late as 1964, only 22% of Japan's secondary school teachers were women. So they have compared men and women in this sentence in both the countries. Is there any other sentence which still is talking about the same scenario, men and women? Yes, we do have E sentence. Women were not encouraged to become teachers in Japan until after 1874, when the first women's normal school was founded. This is again from the gender perspective. So both the sentences B and E were from gender perspective, so we have clubbed them together. And now out of C and A, more general one is C because it again tells you the topic and A further explains it. Both countries had several clearly marked status positions within each school level depending on the amount of training and on seniority. And one of the rules that they had, or one of the checks that they had, one of the requirements they had, were the moral stature of Japanese teachers was regarded as an extremely important part of their qualification. That how are they morally as a person? Maybe this is what I could understand. That's very important. So first you said that there are different positions based on training, based on seniority, and one of the things is that your moral stature is very, very important. So those who have written B and E together, very well done. And those who have written C and A together, again, very well done. But B, E should have been correct. So 1 mark should be with all of you because B, E was very clearly connected, irrespective of where you have put it. Okay. Number 2, 2 minutes, and then post your answers. DE or ED? What should come first? So the first sentence is right. In 1610, Galileo announced observations that contradicted many traditional cosmological assumptions. And the second sentence is B because it is telling us what the observation was. So he observed that the moon is not a smooth, polished surface as Aristotle had claimed, but that it is jagged and mountainous. So the two sentences very well connect to each other. Now we have three sentences in which one talks about like earth. So first we should talk about earth. Only then we can say like earth. We are referring to earth. So where is the sentence? A is the sentence which says earth shine on the moon reveal that earth shines by reflected light. This is where earth comes into picture. Once you have talked about earth, then you can refer to earth, that like earth, Jupiter was observed to have satellites, hence earth had been demoted from its unique position. So this was very important here. And then we are left with one sentence which talks about Venus and which has nothing to connect it with any other sentence in the beginning. So that's why it should come at the end, because this is just talking about Venus. Where is Venus coming from? Why are we talking about Venus? We don't know. So the phases of Venus prove that that planet orbits the sun, not Earth. But why is Venus in picture? No connections to be made. So that is why it will come at the end. So here, like Earth was a reference that we have to first introduce Earth. Only then this sentence can come, though it talked about Jupiter. And then one more, a planet, which is Venus, with no connections to be made with other sentences. Right? So there's a lot to learn when we discuss reorders. If you keep these things in your mind, you can easily find your pairs in the exams. The last question for reorders, 2 minutes for this, and then post your answers. Okay, should be done. Okay, what if I ask you define climate change mitigation? This is the question. So B will be the answer or D will be the answer? Define climate change mitigation. The answer will be climate change mitigation are actions to limit, or you will say climate change mitigation involves reduction in human emissions. B is the definition. D is not the definition. So what is climate change mitigation? These are the actions to limit the magnitude or rate of long-term climate change is called climate change mitigation. Involving is just one part of it. What is one thing it involves in it? There can be other things also involved in climate change mitigation. So B was more broader than D. So B is your first sentence. Moreover, it says climate change mitigation are the actions to limit the magnitude and or rate of long-term climate change. This is very broad than just saying we need to reduce human emissions. We need to do a lot of other things as well. So reductions in human emission is a general thing that we need to do. So climate change mitigation generally involves, means mostly it involves this, but there are other things also that it involves. Reductions in human emissions of greenhouse gases. So B and then D. And then the third one should be A, where you say that mitigation may also be achieved. So another thing that we have to do apart from human emissions is mitigation may also be achieved by increasing the capacity of carbon sinks, that is through reforestation. Now see, this is another thing we can do. So apart from the reduction in human emission, this is also possible. And then CE, because we will finish the topic of mitigation and then we'll start to adaptation to global warming, I believe. Examples of mitigation include these. By contrast, adaptation to global warming are actions. So a different story that if we don't want to mitigate, if we want to adapt, then these are the things we need to do. So CE is correct with most of you, but D should have been correct. B is very broad than D. Okay. So these were the reorders, and let's begin and move to Happy Prabjot. First question of your reading. 2 minutes for this and then post your answers. Only 2 answers. What has happened to the others? Give your answers, all of you. It's an easy one. It's not a difficult one. Coursing dash the heart of Africa. The Congo is the continent's second longest river after the Nile. So we are talking about a river. Coursing dash the heart of Africa. So imagine a river going Africa. So for something which is flowing, something which is moving, something which is continuous, we always say through. Like I always give the same example so that you can imagine that picture in your mind. Passing through the tunnel because you're going through that way. The same way, the course of the river is through the heart of Africa because it passes through that way. Coursing through the heart of Africa, it is the second longest river. It is contained primarily in or marks the border of Democratic Republic of the Congo. The river is approximately 2,900 miles long and with its many tributaries forms the largest dash of navigable waterways in Africa. So before off, we need a noun. What does the river form, which is the largest waterways, largest dash of waterways? So how many nouns we have? We have network of waterways. We have association of waterways, only 2 nouns. And what do we use with rivers? We use network of waterways because association comes with association with, and river cannot form association with association of waterways. Network means so many routes of water we have in this river. This is dash the difficulty in navigating the lower course of the river. So it has the largest network dash the difficulty. So 2 things are bit opposite of each other. They said it has a largest network of waterways dash the difficulty. So what will we say? In spite of the difficulty means even after it is difficult, still this is the largest waterways. So it was in spite of the difficulty. So this again comes down to whenever there are 2 parts in the sentence, you cannot find your answer correctly unless and until you establish a relationship within those 2 parts. That how is the first part connected to the second part? The first part is saying it has something largest. Second part is saying dash the difficulty, and we have to connect them. So this is the largest even after there is difficulty. So even after means what? In spite of the difficulty. The Congo River is home to hundreds of species of fish, dash of which are endemic to the river. So now we have to take some fishes out of the water. Hundreds of species of fish, and all of you are right in saying many of which, because many comes with countable and much comes with uncountable in this comparison. So fish can be counted. So we'll say many of which are endemic to the river. There are few aquatic animals in the river, but various types of reptiles such as crocodiles, tortoises, and water snakes dash there. So these animals live there. Anything that can show us live is reside. So we will say they reside there, means they live there. And those of you who are saying existed, where are they now? Are they at your home now? Existed means what? Past tense means they used to exist. And how are you saying that they are not there now? The sentence starts in present tense. There are aquatic animals. They live there. Stop doing these silly mistakes of past and present tense in easy sentences, right? So these are the answers. The first one is the river crosses through, passes through, courses through. Everything will come with through. Second, it forms the largest network of, we had only 2 nouns, network and association. So it will be network of waterways. And this is in spite of the difficulty that you cannot go to the lower course of the river. Still, it has the largest one. So there are hundreds of fish, many of which are endemic. We cannot say much of which. Much is for uncountable, many is for countable. And the last one, these are the aquatic mammals that live in that river. So live will be reside there. Fine now. Okay, the second question, 2 minutes for this, and then share your answers. Okay, let's start the discussion. The Wimbledon Championships are the oldest and most dash of the 4 tennis Grand Slam tournaments. The other 3 are Australian, French, and the US Opens. So they, out of the 4, they are saying Wimbledon Championships are the oldest and most dash. So what we have in the options is successful and prestigious. Successful is grammatically right. Both of them are grammatically right, first of all. But rather than to go with successful, because I think the other three are also very, very successful and they're equally successful. So it's better to go with prestigious because that will at least make a comparison that it's more prestigious, it has more value attached to it, more strong history or something like that. So it should be prestigious, but yes, successful is grammatically right. But comparing the way that they have given the other three also in the brackets was to tell us that we know how successful Australian Open, French Open, and US Opens are. So we cannot say that they are most successful means they have full stadiums, the other ones also have full stadiums. So there cannot be any comparison of how successful the other ones are not. As such, Wimbledon is awash in long-lasting traditions and features, and that is why we have gone with prestigious, such as the habit of calling the men's and women's competitions as gentlemen's and ladies, respectively. The royal box, which dash for members of the English nobility since 1922. So whenever you have since in a sentence, we always fill it with present perfect. So you can note it down as a rule. With since always comes present perfect tense. Present perfect means has or have. So we had a choice with has and had. So had cannot come with since, it will always be has or have. So we'll go with has been reserved. If you don't want to go with the meaning, though the meaning was also very easy to understand. So the royal box, which has been reserved for the members of the English nobility since 1922, and the iconic center court, but dash the most notable aspect of the event. The sentence is absolutely complete, but the most notable aspect of the event. So we have to just add kind of adverb here or any word that can denote extra connection. So we have predominantly, which is not a word. The word is predominantly. So we'll go with arguably. Arguably means it has come out of debate. So arguably the most notable aspect of the event is the all white dress code for all participants. Why does the tournament specify that its players dress dash in white or almost entirely in white? So it will be completely in white or almost completely in white. Predominantly is not a word, it should be predominantly. Did you check? Let's see if we can get. It is predominantly as the adverb form. So these are the answers. Any confusion, anybody? Most prestigious because they did not talk about success, rather they were more talking about the traditions and features that it's more valuable in that sense. It has more, the way they have given the example of men's and women's are called as gentlemen's and ladies. So it has more prestige attached to it. With since comes present perfect, has and have. And but arguably, the most notable, arguably means even if we have an argument, this will come out to be the most notable aspect. And completely in white, we don't even have another option to put for number 4. All good with this one? So here you have question number 3, 2 minutes for this, and then post your answers. Okay, let's look at the answers. See, for the first blank, we don't need a noun. Computer is already the noun, and you are writing a computer creation of harnessing. Computer itself is a noun. Computer dash of doing something. Computer capable of doing something, whatever it is doing, harnessing the power of quantum physics to carry out computations. This is the capability of the computer of doing a work. And you are saying a computer creation of doing. So check whether you need a noun only, then select a noun. There is a huge global effort, means people are trying to make a computer. To engineer means to make a computer. What type of computer? A computer that is capable of doing this work, carry out computations of unprecedented complexity. While formidable technological obstacles still dash in the way of creating such a computer. Simple words, obstacles dash in the way of creating such computer. So obstacles are still there in the way. So the phrase is still stand in the way of. So you can note it down in the list of your phrases. Stand in the way of is a phrase, which simply means that it is still a problem in doing something. In the middle, we still have a problem. So obstacles still stand in the way of creating such computer. For example, the dash of a new phase of matter. So after the, before, of, we need a noun. How many nouns do we have in the options now? We have only one. Creation is the only noun we have. So we'll go with the creation of a new phase of matter called a time crystal. Just as a crystal structure repeats in space, a time crystal repeats in time, and importantly does so infinitely and without any further input of energy, like a clock that runs dash without any batteries. Clock that runs, this is right, forever. Without batteries, it can just keep on going. The quest to realize this phase of matter has been a challenge in theory and experiment. What kind of challenge is this? Some of you have written lifelong challenge, long-standing challenge. Lifelong is something which will stay like that, like it forever. Like we use lifelong, well, this is a lifelong disease. A disease which has no cure is called lifelong disease. But a challenge to and also the one that they say one that has now finally come to fruition. This is not a lifelong thing. This was a long-standing challenge. Long-standing means it was like this from a long period of time. Has been a long-standing challenge means it is existing from a long time. We don't want to say how long it will exist in the future, but till now it is existing from a long time. Is the difference between long-standing and lifelong. So these are the answers. A computer capable of doing the work. Stand in the way of is a phrase. Third, we needed a noun and there was only one noun in the option creation. Fourth one, a clock that runs forever without batteries. We cannot say clock that runs lifelong. We don't use the word life for clock. Clock that runs forever. And the last one, lifelong challenge means it will be a challenge for the rest of the life. And long standing means this challenge is standing from a long time. We don't know about future, but till now it is standing from a long time. That is long standing. Right? Any confusions, anybody in this question? So question number 4, the last one for today, and 2 minutes to post your answers. Let's discuss the answers. So this says Toronto-based telemedicine startup 𝗪𝗡 currently offers virtual doctor appointments for individuals dash clients. So we can easily put individuals and clients, but we don't have and. Better approach for and is individuals as well as clients in both primary and specialized care, and also has partnerships with insurance and brokers. The startup is also expanding its customer base dash US expansion. So how are they expanding their customer base? Customer base via the US expansion. You cannot say within, because within is used when you set a limit for something. Within is when you want to say not more than, then you say within. So they are expanding their customer base. There's nothing negative that we want to write. Expanding their base via US expansion with ongoing testing in Florida and New York, and further dash its digital health services into the delivery. Further again, they are expanding, they are further expanding, makes sense? Dubbed Mind by 𝗪𝗡, it provides employees with dash mental health care, including self-service and healthcare provider guided solutions. So they provide employees with mental health care. It's complete. What else can we write? What type of mental health care they provide? So any word that can be an adjective. So it will be holistic mental health care, including these services. The startup dash a partnership with California-based meditation app in August 2021. So it is past tense. Any past form of verb will work. So we can say the startup announced a partnership because it has already happened. So we need past form of verb. The startup announced a partnership. Right? So these are the answers. Any confusion, anybody in this question? Is it all good? Okay, so these were all the questions that we have. The first one, via may also be an option. How can you say individuals via clients? Via is by the way of. They are making doctor appointments for individuals by the way of clients. Individuals as well as clients. So clients can be, individuals can be randomly any people, and clients in both primary and specialized care can be some clients of an organization or clients of a business, so that in that context they have differentiated it from individuals. So these were all the questions that we had to do today, and as I said, it was the last class for this week, and I really hope that you would have noted down the things that I was mentioning again and again. And I really hope that you will read those things that you have written, so that in the next week you are not making the same mistakes. And when you're solving your blanks on the portal, you are using those techniques so that it makes a difference at the end of the day. So have a great weekend, all of you. Enjoy your time, but keep studying, keep revising, and keep practicing. That's very important. And I'll see you next week, Monday at the same time. So the PDF for grammar rules, Abdur, is on the Facebook page, I think. We only have one PDF. I'll do one thing. Are you... I'll get it posted in your WhatsApp groups as well. So those who don't have it, you can take it from, download it from the WhatsApp groups. Right? Okay. So that's all for today. I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye. Keep practicing.